You've been gone for 2 weeks, so the place is a mess. You do the housework, the washing, you cook the meals. That's Alice. You look after her. Homework, bath, all that crap. Got it?
Right away, Todd. Aren't you going to school today? I'm sure we used to be friends before I was reset. Maybe we can be friends again.
You shouldn't mess around with my stuff. It makes me nervous.
I'm sorry, Todd.
What are you looking at? Maybe you think this is easy. Maybe you think it's my fault your fucking mother took off. Fucking whore walked out on me for a fucking accountant. Come back here. You stay there. Don't you dare fucking move. Alice! Daddy's very mad. It's all over now. Daddy isn't angry anymore. You know Daddy loves you. This is all your fault!
He's coming! He's gonna hurt me! Run! Get away, or he's gonna break you like last time!
You're coming with me. That's enough! I want you to leave Alice alone.
She's mine. I do what I want with her!
Kara!
Come back here!
Watch out, Kara!
Sometimes you can hear Boomer growling when he feels a threat nearby. And Boomer is just part of Far Cry 5's living world we've built, where there's always something, or someone, around you whether you notice it or not. This means you'll always need to be prepared. Boomer will stand his ground and defend you from predators, as there are a lot of moments for the player to hunt or be hunted. And we've built a deep ecosystem that represents Montana's wilderness.
So, we've seen ducks, a sturgeon, deer, and this is just a small sample of all of the wild animals that you'll encounter in Hope County. So now we've jumped into Nick Rye's plane. It's been in his family for generations, and with it we'll take to the sky to destroy some cult silos that are hoarding explosives.
The world that we've built is larger than any Far Cry before, and for the first time you can explore the world in any direction that you choose right from the start. In this demo, we're in Holland Valley, and this is just one small part of Hope County.
Montana is called Big Sky Country after all. Flying is a great way to travel, explore the county, and scout out new opportunities. And also blow things up.
Woo-wee! Look at that go! Nice work, partner. Go get the other one.
Oh, looks like the cult has decided to intervene. That plane belongs to a Chosen. Now, the Chosen are elite soldiers, and it's their job to basically crush any threat to the project at Eden's Gate. So we've done enough to anger the cult. We're going to engage in a little dogfight with them and show them what we think of them.
That's right. Even in the air, there's a lot of opportunities for the player to, find or discover or get chased by
Discovered.
or get discovered. Yeah, totally. Hunt or be hunted, as we call it. I think right now we are the predator.
Yep, we got them on the run. They're smoking. And we did it.
Well done.
It's also very complex. You can perform 3 types of attacks: slash, stab, kick, and you can attack 5 different directions: head, left and right upper body, and left and right lower body.
On top of that, we have special techniques. Introducing special situational combat techniques into a video game was not an easy task, because you have limited controls, limited field of view, limited knowledge of your surroundings. So we came up with combos. And it works like in your typical fighting game. If you chain particle strikes, you can weaken the enemy and then finish him with special attack. We wanted to let you try and fight with almost every common weapon that was used back then. Axe, or mace, is heavy. It's short, slow, quite bad at defense, but very practical in armored fight. Sword, on the other hand, is an all-purpose combat tool, but a good sword was quite expensive.
You can see how effective it is in our other video.
In medieval times, you never go wrong if you bring a shield with you to the battlefield, or something long enough to keep the enemy at a distance. The very new feature of the game is unarmed combat, because sometimes you don't want to hurt someone too much. Throughout the game, you can also learn special techniques that allow you to strike back even during the parry. These master strikes will slay your typical foe quite quickly, or they can give you more space or some other advantage. But they are very difficult to perform when you first learn them. However, we are the RPG, so if you train a little, your gaming character gets used to these techniques, and they become much easier to perform. And you can always bring a big heavy shield, and you don't need to learn this fancy stuff, or just get a bow and shoot everyone, or get them from behind when they are sleeping or fighting someone else. All these techniques, parrying, master strikes or combo strikes, are based on real historical martial arts. We work with experts to make fighting in Kingdom Come as real as possible. And it's still a lot of fun.
So, that's our combat system. It took a lot of people, a lot of effort to create something unique, complex, and as close to the real thing as possible, but intuitive and accessible at the same time. But I believe that we nailed it. Thanks for watching, and bye.
We were told that one day, the Ravenni would return, that oceans of blood would be spilled, and humanity would become a forgotten relic. Others claimed false prophecy, but I felt it in my bones. Beyond the mountains, beyond the trees, beyond the light, they grew stronger in the shadows. And there will be a reckoning. age of heroes is at its end.
I mean, the most obvious difference so far is the last one was nighttime during the rain, and this is daytime during the snow.
Yeah, and it's not just cosmetic, and I think that's one of the things we really wanted to emphasize, because this time we're showing sort of a day in the life of Deacon. You see he's on the drifter bike here. We wanted to show a little more of the bike riding and how the weather can kind of impact that. So we have this drifting mechanic, right? You see him kind of slipping and sliding around a little bit.
Changes the handling of the bike. That's really interesting. Now, there were wolves there last time, John, and these wolves would pursue you down this road, and then Deacon had to turn his back, shoot a wolf, and he got clotheslined right up there, didn't he?
Yeah, exactly. So this time you see that he wasn't being chased by the wolves. That's a dynamic event that can happen or not. It just depends on when you're playing the game.
Interesting.
And this time Deacon saw the ambush and he was able to avoid it. So he kind of comes up and around and behind them.
So does weather impacts whether these creatures show up or not in daytime, nighttime, all that stuff?
Yeah, absolutely. So especially the freakers, they come out, they're mostly nocturnal, but they will come out as the weather gets colder. They become stronger in the cold.
Right.
And so that will, again, kind of change up the way the game plays.
That's very, very, I kind of love that you decided to do this as a demo to show two completely different iterations on the same exact mission in the game.
Yes, exactly. So we wanted to have, the job is basically the same. Deacon hears that his buddy's in trouble, rides out to save his life. And, as you can see here, this is a completely different experience from what we showed in the first demo. In the first one, Deacon gets clotheslined, and it sounded very painful, by the way.
Oh, speaking of painful, okay, so the combat in this game is fairly brutal. John, you want to talk about that a little bit?
Well, we just wanted to make it as realistic as possible. So, yeah, we're not holding back on that at all. And Sam's done most of his own stunt work for this. And I can tell you that when we're on the performance stage and we're capturing that stuff, we just try to keep it real, right?
Right. Well, right. There was sort of a decision made at some point. I've been on the project for 2 or 3 years now.
Yeah, I think 3 years.
In the previous demo?
No, they weren't, right? So that's another big difference is that if you come here during the day, it's like in the media showcase demo, there was like kind of a fight club thing going on.
Right.
They were punching each other and everybody was just sort of getting into it. Nobody's really paying attention to what's going on.
Yeah.
And now it's getting dark and it's cold out. So, they've built these bonfires. So, and again, it's not just a cosmetic change in the way the...
Well, it's cold, right?
Yeah, it's because it's cold.
They have to build some...
So it changes the way the Marauders behave in the level.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's very... Again, this is part of the reason why I love that you did this as a demo, because the behavior of all of these things, not just the Freakers, but the Marauders, everything, there's a logic to it. You can track why they're doing the things that they're doing. And you can use it to your advantage in the gameplay. That's kind of what I like about this so much.
And that's really what we wanted to showcase this year, is that it's an open world game, and everything you see around here. And again, we're only playing this 2 different ways. You saw that waterfall way up there off in the distance. There's a bridge that goes in front of that. If you had a sniper rifle and enough ammunition, you could have driven your bike all the way up there. There's trails that go all the way up there.
wind carries her voice above the forest. I feel how she fills me up. Let's not make her wait any longer, my plaything.
Samurai. You are a warrior. I can see that. You trained your whole life for this. And you have won battles that lesser men have called unwinnable, yes? But while you were sharpening your sword, do you know how I prepared for today? I learned. I know your language, your traditions, your beliefs, which villages to tame and which to burn. So I'll ask you once again, Samurai. Do you surrender?